Time to shoot an intro. Hey. Welcome back to another episode of Beauty and Bee Movies with me, Pale Kale. Not so pale kale right now, honestly though. Look at my tan. I got a little bit of a tan going on. In the middle of, at time of filming, it's the middle of October. So I went outside like twice over the summer and it made a difference. So not so see-through anymore, am I? Today we are going to be reviewing the 1989 film Intruder, which I had never heard of. I saw it was on Tubi. I was just, flipping through Tubi, trying to find something to watch, drinking a pink slush, having a lovely afternoon, and I stumbled upon Intruder. I do want to say, I think I mentioned it in the wrap-up, but I did not notice the cover of the movie when I selected it. Apparently, this movie has gotten kind of some negative reviews about the fact that the killer of the film is revealed on the cover of the movie, so that's a bummer. But what isn't a bummer is Intruder itself as a movie. We're going to talk about it today. I'm going to dive in and give you all of my thoughts, opinions, commentary, and I'm going to do this is kind of a simple look for me. I know if you've watched any of my other videos, we've seen, blue cut creases. We've seen some like cool carved out, almost like insecty looking eyes. We've seen some cool stuff, right? This is a little bit closer to what I normally would do with my makeup. It's very cool tone today. Kind of cool, grungy, spiky lash kind of moment. I really just wanted to keep it simple so I could focus a little bit more on the story and on the commentary. I did kind of give a few little tips and tricks. If there's anything to take away from this, it's that if you want to do an eye that's kind of smoky effect, make sure you blend and blend and blend till you can't blend no more. Right? So without further ado, let's talk about this 80s slasher. I know. Groundbreaking for this channel. But what makes Intruder so special? It takes place in a grocery store. That's right, a grocery store. So a little bit of a unique setting. It's also kind of a slasher meets a whodunit. I'm very excited to dive into all of this with you. So please stay tuned to hear me talk about Intruder and watch me achieve this makeup look. Clean up on aisle 12, am I right? Hello. It is early in the AM. I'm gonna try to have as much energy as I can. I actually think I have a good amount of energy. I'm doing my best out here. All right, let's dive into Intruder, shall we? So the start of Intruder, we can really see the $130,000 shoestring budget kind of show itself in the opening title sequence. Seriously, like what was up with that font? It looks like it belongs in an after-school special. It was definitely not a super riveting title sequence. Also, this movie does not give you the option for subtitles. What the fuck's up with that? I have not watched a movie without subtitles in so long. I had such a difficult time having to like turn the volume up and down and play ping pong with it basically because the dialogue, yeah, thank you, Fig. I don't know if you can hear him screaming out there. The dialogue is all either super soft or super loud. So if you are someone who cannot watch a movie without subtitles, then you probably can't watch this movie because it is not an option, which I thought was kind of lame, but enough of that. Let's meet some characters, shall we? I'm going to be mixing my foundation. I've been using this one size base thinner and mixing it with my foundation. It's kind of weird, but essentially the whole purpose of the product is to exactly what it sounds like, thin out your base. The more you know, but it also gives kind of like an iridescence and a glow, and if you just mix it together in the back of your hand, it'll turn any foundation into a foundation with some dewiness to it. Ain't that neat? We got our main character Jennifer, who has the hair of my dreams. Too bad she is so bad at wrangling carts together though at the end of the night, because what the hell was this scene? It's literally, I think it's a full minute long of her trying to get these carts together at the end of the night, I guess, in the parking lot. Thank God that scene was in there, because I don't know what I would have done if I didn't know that the carts were securely in the store. That would have been hard for me. Next, we meet Jennifer's ex, Craig, who is also an ex-con and has a mullet and a bad attitude. He straight up assaults her within just a couple of minutes of the movie. he keeps like grabbing her face, trying to touch her face. And I was like, boundaries, Craig, okay? Have you heard of him? You know what? Can I just like, I gotta put my foundation on really quick. I feel like I'm getting into this and I just like, I need some stability in my life. Oh, my foundation brush just went up my nose. Oh, there's so much foundation in my nose. I know what you're thinking. Why are you still using the brush then if it just went up your nose? Because it didn't go that far up my nose. It was just on like the precipice of my nose. I don't even know if that word works in that context, but anyway. Oh yeah, okay. Look at how much more alive I look. Wow. Frankenstein's monster come to life, truly. There we go. All right. Craig just kind of gets right into her bubble. He punches her in the face. Damn, Craig. He's upset because she doesn't really want anything to do with him, which, gee, I wonder why. He seems like such a great guy. No surprise there at all. Jennifer's kind of like, dude, scram. It's not gonna happen. He gets pretty rough with her friend Lisa as well. So Craig gets in a fight with like 5 of the guys when they come to rescue Jennifer. And oh no, not the chips! We also get some super realistic sound effects here with Craig's punching sounds. Shocker that this one wasn't nominated for an Oscar. Finally, after this whole fight scene kind of plays out, Craig gets cornered and he kind of pushes a guy and then runs away like a little bitch. Cool. Craig seems like a great guy. So of course, in response to all this, Jennifer calls the cops. And while she does that, the team's kind of like looking around for Craig. It's kind of a long, drawn out scene that's not super important. But what is important is before the cops can get there, Craig comes back and assaults Jennifer again. Instead of punching her this time, he forcefully kisses her. Pick a lane, Craig. What are you doing? You can't just be kissing people and punching them in the face. The guys end up finding Craig again. They corner him once again. They throw Craig out into the night, complete with punk. Delightfully 80s. Happy to see it. Craig kind of stands there for a minute like he's gonna like challenge them, but there's like 4 of them and 1 Craig, so math ain't mathin', Craig. The powder. God, this is like at the end of its life. The cops still haven't gotten there, by the way. So while the employees are kind of just like hanging out, waiting around for the cops to get there, Bill and Danny, the 2 managers, or I guess they're co-owners of the store. Similar, but the 2 co-owners of the store, Bill and Danny, they inform the team that the store is being sold. They say something about like they're selling the store to the city and that their jobs will no longer be in effect at the end of the month, I think they say. So they basically tell the team like, hey, thank you guys for handling that guy who was like assaulting one of our employees. But just so you guys know, we're actually you're all gonna lose your jobs. Sound cool? Obviously, the employees are kind of bummed, you know, that definitely sucks. Their jobs are pretty much gone after the end of the month or whatever it is. And their goal for the rest of the night, the co-owners tell them that they need to mark everything in the store down. I was expecting kind of some of them to want to leave. I forgot to mention this too, but this all takes place at night at the grocery store. So originally the title of this movie, I looked it up because I was watching the movie and at one point the term The Night Crew is used, and I thought, why wouldn't the movie be called that? It makes so much more sense than the name Intruder. Well, actually, originally, this was called The Night Crew. And it'll make more sense as we go into it because the name Intruder, it kind of makes sense for this movie, but I just feel like The Night Crew would have been a better title. It's really not that important, but I did feel the need to mention it. Also because I felt really smart. That was some big brain shit. I was like, oh my God, I thought of the same thing that it was originally called without even knowing it. I felt smart. That doesn't always happen for me. The team's kind of reacting to this news. I mean, this guy's got the right idea.
It's not so bad. I can get unemployment now.
I appreciate that he's looking at this with the glass half full. Thanks, bub. So the team gets to work, kind of marking down the store. Everybody's a little melancholy. Obviously, they're all kind of waiting for the police still to show up. Jennifer's having to answer all of Craig's creepy phone calls because he still won't leave this chick alone. She must have that magic puss or something. I don't know. He is really hell-bent on trying to get back in her good graces, but if that's the case, why did he punch her in the face? That escalated quickly. Make it make sense, Craig. We also find out that Craig killed a guy, so that's fun. Not this night. That was why he was in prison. I think it was like involuntary manslaughter. Apparently he got in a fight with someone and killed them. And Jennifer explains it really well here.
Surprising.
And when they pulled Craig off of the guy, he was dead.
He actually killed someone?
It was an accident, I guess.
The light might shift a little bit. I'm doing my brows, so it might get a little funky chicken. How funky is your chicken? How loose is your goose? We also get to meet Dave, Jennifer's love interest. We also get to meet Bill. He's one of the co-owners. We kind of already met Bill a little bit, but he's like the cool manager, you know? He's just kind of like, hey guys, I'm Bill. Like, hey guys, I'm Bill. Why would that make him the cool manager? Look at my new nails. They're gorgeous. This little chromant. I love them. They're glamnetic, really pretty. Anyway, we also get to meet Bill. He is one of the co-owners. We kind of already met him, but he's like the cool manager, you know. He's got a southern accent. He's very like okey pokey, like small town. I don't know. I liked Bill immediately. I felt a kinship with him. He's my kind of guy, you know, super funny. So we do meet Jennifer's friend. Her name is Linda, not Lisa. So my bad. She's not that important. That's why I kind of forgot her name. My bad. And then we also meet this stoner kid named Bub. And I had to mention Bub because the way he talks is incredible. And it was one of the biggest comedic reliefs of the whole movie. He talks like this.
And I swear to God, if my brother hadn't hit him in the head repeatedly with a blender, he would have killed me.
Like, it's very stoner, kind of Californian. It was at this point I wondered where this movie is supposed to take place because Bub talks like a stoner from California, and then we got Bill, who's like definitely Southern. Jennifer sounds kind of Canadian sometimes. A little smorgasbord, I don't know where this takes place, but I'm liking the accents. Keeps it interesting, makes it fun. I know what you're thinking. How'd you get that brow on so fast? Magic. Next we get break time. Cops still haven't shown up, by the way, and it's presumably been a little while, right? So what are they doing? Anyway, we get to our break time. Everybody's kind of hanging out in the break room, talking about what they're going to do, lamenting about losing their jobs. Totally understandable. And Bill's kind of hanging out with the gang in the break room. Like I said, he's like the cool manager. And then we got Danny, who's like the stiff, by the books type of guy. He's, you know, not really close with the team, it doesn't seem like. But Bill is like, he has a camaraderie with them for sure. And he's kind of hanging out with them in the break room, and he tells an extremely gruesome story.
Here comes fucking Parker. Walking down 9 miles, swinging the head by the hair in one hand and his hamburger in the other, and he's still eating it.
I thought this was kind of random because, like, why would that matter at all? But it does come back, so, you know, keep this fun little anecdote in your brain place. Yeah, that's the story about the firefighter that was holding a burger in one hand and a severed head in the other hand. And you know what that means. If it's a severed head, you know the rest. Let me fix this brow. Let me just kind of choke up in this mirror over here and at least get a good outline. So meanwhile, the cops finally show up and do a whole lot of nothing.
Again, why, don't hesitate to call, and here's my card. No, that's not my card. That's my card.
Wow. Thanks, guys. Oh, that's super helpful. You gotta love horror movie cops. They really are just bumbling buffoons. We love that. We definitely couldn't have survived without their extensive knowledge on the subject. Okay, I'm back, and I'm just kind of zhuzhing up my brows a little bit with this Anastasia, this new brow pen from them. It's the Microstroke brow pen. It's really, really nice. gives little individual hairs. If you have full eyebrows, I would recommend this product. If you just need like a couple little lines here and there just kind of thrown in. I can't wear this on its own just because obviously my brows are, you know, not full and it looks goofy as hell, but if, you know, if I just need a little zhuzh, this is nice to add some individual strokes in there. So anyway, the cops predictably miss all the action, right? Because about a half hour into the movie, we get our first kill. Sorry, god damn it, these fucking birds. The freaking birds. I just wanted a little zhuzh, a little zhuzhing of the brows. I feel like those look okay. So yeah, we get Linda's death about a half hour into the movie. I didn't really include a lot about Linda because we didn't get a ton of character develop with her, unfortunately. And we don't even see her death. It actually happens off camera, but don't you worry. We will see plenty of deaths in this film. All right, she's back again and the brows look way better. So anyway, don't you worry. We will see plenty of deaths in this movie. And one huge watermelon, dude. Seriously, that thing is massive. Also, my dude is just raw dogging, just eating it with his bare hands. So glad that he's in charge of produce. We cut to outside and Bill runs into Craig out by the dumpsters. He's trying to get back into the store. They get into another super, super realistic fight. Craig knocks Bill unconscious here, so Bill's kind of out for the count. I'm gonna start doing my eyes. I think I'm gonna do something way more chill for me than what I've done so far on this channel. Something closer to what I would do on my normal day-to-day. Just because, yeah, I am not feeling crazy drama. I'm setting this up as if I'm gonna do a clean girl look, and I'm not. It's still gonna be a full beat, don't worry. Don't you worry your pretty little noggin. Still gonna do a clean beat. It's Bill. Bill's bringing the southern accent on me. Bill honestly has been bringing out my W impression a lot more than sitting looking at myself over and over saying, "Thank you, Your Holiness, awesome speech."
Thank you, Your Holiness, awesome speech.
Just constantly. So thanks, Bill. Thanks for that. Totally off topic. Yeah, ooh, yeah. Anyway, back in the office, Danny, remember Danny? He's like the stiff kind of manager, the not fun guy. He gets manhandled or Dan-handled.
Please clap.
He gets manhandled and he gets a gnarly death by receipt holder in the eye. I loved the foreshadowing to this because there was a shot earlier in the film, I didn't mention it. There's a lot of cool cinematography in this movie, by the way, just a little side note, but there's a shot earlier in the film that's shot kind of from the perspective of the receipt holder, like he's like putting receipts on it, and it felt kind of weird. I was like, why are they focusing so much on this receipt holder? A death, a murder, and it was Danny's murder. Just right in the cornea. Yikes. This kill really blindsided me.
Please clap.
While this is going on in the manager's office, down on the floor, Jennifer and Dave decide they're gonna start macking on each other while on the clock. That seems very professional, you guys. They start kind of macking on each other. Time and place, you know, people are dying. It's a little inappropriate for the workplace. I love to say that at work. I say that to my colleagues all the time. It's a fun little thing I do. Anyway, speaking of murder, the produce guy, remember Watermelon Dude from earlier? Yeah, he gets chopped right in the back of the head with a knife. And as we all know, it's starting to get real murdery in here because we get another death with this guy in a plaid shirt. They don't really give names a lot in this movie. They're very brief. I actually had to look up a lot of the people's names with corresponding photos of them to figure out who was who because yeah, Jennifer, Craig, Bill, like we learned their names, but like Danny, I like completely missed his name. It could just be me not paying attention enough. I feel like this movie kind of got me. I was paying attention to it. I wasn't on my phone as much as I normally am. I feel like they didn't really give the character names consistently. So plaid shirt guy, he doesn't even get an interesting death. He gets kind of a nondescript death. Just a knife right to the stomach by an unseen assailant. That sucks, you know, poor guy. Couldn't even get an interesting death. Maximum bummer, man. So after Plaid Shirt Guy's death, we get a little sneak peek again at Stoner Guy, Bub, who I'm really starting to like, actually. Especially because he reveals that Plaid Shirt Guy's name is Tim. He keeps saying, Tim.
Very funny, Tim. Tim? This isn't amusing, Tim. Surprise. Tim, you look horrible.
Thanks, Bub. We needed that. Bub also gets a super cool death by Box Crusher. I thought that one was really interesting. It was another one where there was some foreshadowing because they kind of alluded to the box cutter being a big thing earlier on. There were some shots taken from the Box Crusher moving up and down. So he gets death by Box Crusher. Very cool. His head literally gets crushed like a melon. It was very gruesome and gory. I was surprised how well it was executed for the budget and for the time period. I know I say that frequently, but this one really was impressive. It was impressive. I was like, wow, didn't see that coming. The deaths in this movie are actually done, in my opinion, pretty well. I thought they were really fun. That sounds kind of bad. I thought they were really interesting, and the Box Crusher was no exception. It was awesome. Yeah, see, I'm kind of just doing, it's almost like a combination of a halo eye and a smoky eye. This is closer to something I would do every day rather than doing like a blue cut crease. As much as I like to mix it up, and sometimes I do just, you know, put on a blue cut crease and go shopping at Target or whatever. But I just wanted to do something a little more neutral, and hopefully it picks up on camera and it responds well. The Box Crusher death is pretty brutal. I probably can't show it here, but poor Bub. Bye, Bub. At least you got a better death than Tim.
Tim, you look horrible.
So this killer works extremely quickly, apparently, because about 2 minutes after Bub's head gets crushed, we get another death. It's Randy the Butcher. I haven't even mentioned him yet. There's a lot of characters that I didn't really mention meeting just because we meet them so briefly and they really did not have character development. So I didn't want to waste my time with introducing a bunch of people when they just die cool deaths. I will say they all, well, with the exception of Tim, they get some cool deaths, so that's fun, but like really didn't get a lot of character development for most of these people. So yeah, the next death we get is Randy the Butcher right through the jaw with like a meat hook, or I think it's a meat hook because all the dead cows are like hanging on it and stuff. So pretty brutal, also pretty interesting kill. I liked that all their kills kind of had something to do with like their job description, you know, what they're doing. The one produce guy with the watermelon guy, he's just cutting stuff up, and then he gets like stabbed in the back of the head, and then, you know, we got Bub who, you know, was crushing boxes, and then his head gets crushed. So I thought it was fun and different. It reminded us that, you know, this takes place in a grocery store. Very unique setup for a slasher film. So anyway, Randy dies. Bye, Randy. We barely knew you, but I'm sure that you were an excellent butcher. It's a little bit fun and different, all the deaths, you know what I mean? Everybody's death has something to do with working at the grocery store. Speaking of death, it's time for another one. We cut to Dave, Jennifer's little love interest, and he is encountering a couple things that are a little suspicious. We got some severed feet in the bathroom. We got several piles of blood. He's kind of uncovering these things and thinking it's just like a practical joke or whatever. He's not really taking it seriously. He's like, oh, come on, guys. Like, cut it out, you know? Just like many men in horror movies do not pick up on things. They don't really take it seriously a lot of the times. Not saying that's real life. I'm just saying horror movies. He doesn't pick up on any of this. He's kind of just moseying about, thinking he has all the time in the world when really he's about to get murdered. As Dave is kind of like looking around, he runs into Danny, the manager earlier. Remember the guy who literally got stabbed in the eye with the receipt holder? He's not dead somehow. My man's took a stabbing straight to the cornea and he is somehow still living. You're still living? I would just give up at that point, I think. I mean, how do you live through something like that? You know what I mean? Right to the eye? God damn, I would just be like, just die already. He hasn't died. He needs help, but Dave's too freaked out to do anything except run away, which is fair, honestly. I would be freaked out too. Unfortunately for Dave, he is in the same room with a bandsaw. So, you know, if we've learned anything from these other kills, there's been some foreshadowing, right? Definitely some foreshadowing for our guy Dave over here. Killer ends up grabbing him and kind of dragging him towards the bandsaw. Again, we don't see the killer's face, but they're kind of dragging Dave. That's how Dave handled that. I feel like you could have fought back more, Dave, you know? Well, he doesn't fight back. Now it's time to make a Dave's double. Or a shaved Dave, perhaps?
Please clap.
Killer takes Dave and saws his face in half. In half! If there's anything you're gonna see or take away from this movie, it's gotta be the bandsaw death. The bandsaw, this was nasty and awesome and so good. It was my favorite part, and I know that that's fucked up, and I know I have issues, but you know what? It was crazy. Just a really wild death. I was very, again, impressed with the special effects. I thought they did a good job. Dave's head looked super sawed in half. It was pretty interesting. That shit was sick. Like, actually, it was sick. It was gross, but it was so cool. So I'm gonna start. I do want to kind of explain what I'm doing here. The best thing you can do if you're doing kind of like a smoky, if you want to smoke an eye out or just blend in general, blending with a brush that has nothing on it is like one of my top tricks that literally makes such a difference. Look at how much more blended that eye looks when you just kind of give it a little zhuzh, go around that outer corner. It really does make a huge difference. It just makes the eye look so much more soft and sultry. I'm gonna use this Urban Decay Moondust quad. These are so pretty, and I know that, you know, they're really bright. I'm actually gonna use this one right here. It's just like a soft sheen with some duochrome to it. You might even not be able to see it on camera. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, kind of. It's very, very light, but that's actually what I want. I just want a little bit of a glow in the middle there. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. So nothing crazy. Anyways, so all of a sudden Jennifer kind of looks around and she's like, hey, where is everybody? Everybody's just kind of not here. She decides she's gonna go looking for her pals, and boy, does she find them. This killer had a good time. Okay, he was having some chuckles. He has arranged all of the dead bodies in like fun little ways with puns like attached to their corpses. So that's like fun and different. She finds Randy the Butcher's corpse. She gets super freaked out by him. The killer actually tries to get her at this point, but in a very Laurie Strode-esque fashion, she stabs him with a hook in the hand. I know Laurie Strode was a knife, but, or wait, it was a knitting needle. It was a knitting needle and then a knife later, I think, right? Why am I starting to doubt my knowledge about a Jamie Lee Curtis movie? Sorry, we gotta pack this on in the middle and then we gotta blend it more. That is my biggest like trick, making it look at all decent. Blend to the umpteenth degree. You have to have patience. It sucks donkey ass because blending is it feels so redundant, but it really does make all the difference. So Jennifer decides she's gonna go looking for Danny and Bill for some help. She kind of sprints to the manager's office. She's like, I gotta get these guys out here, right? So instead of finding Danny and Bill, this is when Jennifer finds all the different dead bodies, all the corpses with like the crush-proof box and the half off and everything. I guess Tim's death wasn't as boring as I thought, because at some point he got cut in half. This killer had a lot of time on his hands, okay? He was getting really creative. He was like cutting up limbs and stuff. I don't know when he had the time to do this because it seemed like he was like consistently killing people, but I digress. I'm gonna like just throw a little more of this sheen on the lid, but I actually think that is kind of how I want the shape of the eye. I just want something kind of like in between a smoky eye and a halo eye. Yeah, that's really pretty. It's just kind of soft and like, I know what you're thinking. That's not soft, that's a whole ass eye. But you know, for me, this is really chill. Something else I like to do too, just to like kind of spruce up a neutral eye, is to use something in my waterline that has a little more color to it because it gives a little bit of a pop. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 eye pencil in the shade Alkaline. It's like a reddish purpley kind of color, and it is really, really good for brown eyes in particular. It's really, really good for brown eyes in particular, and it's really good for tight lining because you can really see that in my eye. And then I'm just gonna go underneath that with more neutral powder because it'll make it pop. So anyway, Jennifer's kind of running through the store. I mean, good thing she still has that hook that doesn't have a drop of the killer's blood on it. We love continuity. Turns out the hook actually is a good thing though, because Jennifer runs into Craig. Remember, now Craig's back, you know, he's reappeared. And I don't think any of us were exactly happy to see Craig, you know what I mean? Who would be happy to see Craig? So she stabs Craig in the neck with a hook. So I guess that was a good thing after all, having that hook, right? It kind of saved her from Craig. Craig goes down. He's kind of out for the count, but never fear. Bill is here. Remember Bill? The guy who got knocked out? He was like the fun, okey pokey manager that told that riveting story about the severed head. We all know and love Bill. Well, he's back, baby. He has come to, he's come back into the store, and he lets Jennifer know, hey, you know what? Craig knocked me out outside and I missed everything, but I'm gonna go call the police and get us some help. So thank God, you know, I was worried about Bill. I was like, what happened to him? I kind of assumed maybe he died. I don't know. Bill's back, right? We're all happy about that. We love to see him. He goes to call the cops. Jennifer's just kind of like freaking out a little bit because she just saw a bunch of tore up people. She just saw a bunch of, you know, severed limbs and body parts and terrible dad jokes, and she needs a minute to recuperate. You know what I mean? She does that, and she's kind of just sitting there, you know, clutching her pearls, if you will. Wait a minute. What's that on Jennifer's shirt? Is that blood? What's that on Bill's hands? And now probably the phone. Unless Bill's the murderer. Bill's the murderer. I was so bummed by this. No. God, Bill. Why'd you do it, Bill? Why'd you do it? So, yeah. Bill's been killing people the whole time. I was kind of shocked. I mean, I didn't know for sure if it was Craig. They definitely kind of made you think it was going to be Craig, right? He was a red herring for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't forget about Bill. There was part of me that wondered, like, where has he been this whole time? There were a few shots of his silhouette where it kind of, you could tell, like, if you watch it back, if you rewatch it, I've seen this 3 times now. If you rewatch it, it's very clearly Bill's shadow, right? Like, you can tell it's him. But if you don't know and you're watching it for the first time, I don't know. I thought it was kind of surprising, to be honest with you. So yeah, Bill's the murderer. That kind of explains a lot, right? I mean, he made me laugh multiple times before I knew he was the murderer, and kind of a few times after I found out, to be honest. You'll see why. But anyway, he made me laugh multiple times, and that kind of explains why all the corpses had those puns connected, right? Bill's kind of like a silly little guy. He likes to be funny, likes to be humorous, if you will. So it kind of made sense. As soon as he was revealed, I was like, yeah, you know what? Now the dad jokes, that pans out. That tracks, unfortunately. The reveal of Bill being the killer was actually, I thought, kind of scary. He starts just like jumping aisles trying to get to Jennifer to kill her next. And I was kind of like, oh my God, like the way this actor did a great job. Let's just put it that way. This actor did a great job. The way he switched up from being like, oh, I'm just okey pokey Bill, to being like an unhinged psychopath, it was good. I I don't know how much they paid him, probably not that much because the budget was so small, but like they should have given him a good amount of money for how he portrayed Bill. I thought he did a really good job. I actually didn't think the acting in this was like horrible. I mean, we did get that one scene with Dave. I don't know. Comparatively to some of the other slashers at the time, acting wasn't that bad. I wasn't mad at it. Yeah, I like how this eye turned out. I know it's kind of boring. I really wanted to focus on the story today more so than the makeup, to be honest with you. I just wanted to do something kind of chill. Is that okay? Just gonna blend a little more. Blend, blend, blend. Oh yeah, that looks a little better. Live, laugh, toaster bath. Bill does catch up to Jennifer, by the way, and he straight up rips out a chunk of her hair. No, not her hair. She's the hair of my dreams. It's beautiful and thick and full and voluminous. Please don't fuck up her hair, Bill. You know, kill people, whatever you want to do, but don't fuck up Jennifer's hair. We get an explanation as to why Bill did all of this, and I guess he was just really upset about the store closing, even though he's one of the co-owners. So, like, that seems like kind of a you thing, you know what I mean? Like, I just think he would have handled it between, like, him and Danny, you know? He kind of said earlier in the movie that Danny owns like 51% of this company and he owns 49%. So like he kind of got, you know, he didn't have a choice in selling the store. And apparently, you know, he just really didn't want to. And he decided to take it out on everybody rather than just Danny. Why not just kill Danny if he's the one you were mad at for selling the store, Bill?
I had to kill him.
The night crew had nothing to do with it.
I couldn't let anybody stop me. I guess I just got a little carried away. Don't you see? I'm just crazy about this store.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Now I totally get the bandsaw and the box crusher too. That all makes sense now. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for clearing that up. Oh, look at that cheekbone. This is that new Haus Labs contour stick. This is really not, look at how cool toned, like truly cool toned it is. I really wanted to do a cool tone look today. Let's just keep everything really like cool neutrals. And I think it looks good, you know? I think she looks good. I mean, we gotta get on lashes and everything, and I gotta blend out my nose and my forehead contour, but I'm not mad at it. I wish the base was a little glowier, but what are you gonna do? So now it's a fight to the death to see who will survive. Bill is chasing Jennifer. He's got to find out a fun, punny way to kill her. So he's kind of chasing her through the store. He tries to do like a Jack Torrance meets popcorn type of deal at this part where Jennifer is hiding in this display behind the Jiffy Pop. Doesn't exactly pan out for him. I guess all murder and no popcorn makes Bill a crazy psychopath.
Please clap.
What'd that popcorn do to you, Bill? What's up with all the snack massacre in this movie? You know what I mean? Like, the chips, the soda, now the popcorn. You guys, take it out on the people, not the snacks. So Jennifer is kind of walking up and down the aisles, trying to get away from Bill. I was wondering why she wasn't trying to leave, but then I realized that Bill has the keys to the store. He's the manager, so he like locked her in. She is walking down like the cereal aisle and he grabs her head. I thought he was gonna like crush her head with his hands, but thanks to a trusty bottle of wheat germ, Jen escapes the situation. I know what you're thinking. Wheat germ. Didn't expect to see that in a horror movie. Well, now you have. We needed another reminder that this was in a grocery store. Jen knocks him in the head with the wheat germ. She kind of runs out of there. We get more of this chase scene throughout the store. So yeah, I guess the wheat germ doesn't take him down for too long though. Bill actually tricks Jennifer. She thinks she's seeing Danny. Remember Danny, the guy who got right in the eye? Well, she sees Danny's like head and she hears him saying like, help me. He's like around a corner from her. And she's like, oh my God, Danny's still alive, but he's badly injured. I'm gonna go help him. She runs over. It's just Bill holding Danny's severed head like a puppet. That's the sickest puppet show I've ever seen. Jesus, Bill. What's going on with you, man? I thought we were cool. Yeah, Bill's kind of losing it a little bit, I guess. So yeah, I guess there had to be a severed head at this point so that Bill could tell that awesome story again. You know, the one from before that I said would come back. Yeah, Bill decides to like tell it again.
comes fucking Parker, walking down 9 miles, swinging a goddamn head by the hair in one hand and his sandwich in the other.
So that's fun. When he had the time to make a sandwich, I don't know. I guess while he was like dismembering people's limbs and chopping off heads and, you know, cutting people up and stuff, he thought, I bet I have time to make me a PB&J. So I guess that's what he went and did. So this fun little reprise of that great anecdote from earlier gives Jennifer a chance to run away, and she does, just like Tina Belcher. Seriously, what does that run? She runs right into Craig. So normally this would be, you know, not great, right? But I guess since Craig's killed one person and Bill's killed like 6 people or however many he's killed, he's kind of the safer option. I don't know. I didn't want to root for Craig. I didn't want to be forced to hope that he lives or does well in life in general, but they kind of push you in that direction here. So she runs right into Craig, and I can't suddenly root for him. Have we forgotten about the non-consensual kissing? Or how about the face punch that causes her nose to continually bleed throughout the movie? I guarantee her nose is probably broken. I've broken my nose before, and you know what happened? Before I went to the hospital for it, context, I didn't go to the hospital for literally like a whole day. And I hate going to the hospital. It scares me. I don't like it. Yeah, it kept bleeding all day, on and off. I was waiting tables, going up to a table with a bloody nose, holding my head back like this, trying to read the specials. Yeah, so her nose is probably broken. Trust me, I'm an expert. And by expert, I mean I actually can't handle the sight of blood in real life, but I love horror movies. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. And I'm aware of that. So anyway, I haven't forgotten Craig. I haven't forgotten your non-consensual kissing and your face punch and your general demeanor. Well, apparently Bill has not forgotten either. It's not funny, but it totally is. He starts beating Craig with Danny's severed head. If it's a severed head, I'm going to be very upset. I'm sorry. I had to do it. If there's anything I love, it is quotes from 90s comedies and saying them over and over again until it's no longer funny. And maybe wasn't even funny in the first place. So Bill's just having fun at this point, right? He's just having a good time. He's like, I'm gonna beat this guy to death with this severed head. This gives Jennifer a chance to run away and escape. Craig did give her a valuable piece of information. He got in the first place, like back into the store through the bathroom window. So he tells her, hey, escape through that bathroom window. You can get out that way. Honestly, thanks, Craig. Like, you did us a solid. You're okay just this once. But I haven't forgotten, Craig. I know about you, and I don't like you. Jen escapes out the bathroom window while Craig's being beaten by the severed head. Beaten? I'm not gonna laugh. He's being beaten by the severed head. I'm not gonna laugh. So our girl Jen, she runs outside and tries to get into her Jeep, but oh no, what's this? It's the corpse of Linda. Yikes. Sorry, you know, she finds Linda's body and that kind of freaks her out, throws her off her game, and then Bill somehow has gotten outside. Bill's also like super fast. This is another side note, but he is able to be in like 5 places at once because he's chopping people up, he's making sandwiches, he's beating people with severed heads, and he's all of a sudden outside dragging her underneath the car. So he tries to kind of yank her under the car. He's like, listen, I'm not letting you get away. He kind of yanks her underneath the car. She didn't really fight back that much, which I thought was weird. But then a second later, I realized why not. She's got the knife and she stabs Bill. She stabs him right in the gut. I bet that gut was full of PBR and maybe people, honestly. Maybe Bill was eating people. She's back and she's got a lash on. We're in the home stretch here. I love to say that and then, you know, talk for another 20 minutes. So Jennifer, she stabs Bill. And Bill is down. He is down for the count. He falls to the ground and Jennifer runs over to a payphone. Remember those? You probably don't. Jennifer gets into the payphone and decides to call the police because, you know, they were so helpful the first time. She calls the police. Oh, I gotta get a lip. sculpt it out here. Jennifer calls the police, and yeah, Bill's got one more jump scare in him. He charges through the phone booth and breaks the glass and kind of like grabs her. And actually, I saw it coming because, like, of course the killer's not dead yet, you know, like, this is horror 101. We knew he wasn't dead, right? A stab to the stomach, that's not gonna do shit. You have to basically like behead him to kill him. So, and sometimes not even then, if we've seen Halloween H2O / Halloween Resurrection, which, yikes. Let's not talk about it. Why did I bring that up? That's a sore subject. Anyway. Bill bursts through the glass. He is just not done with this girl yet. He's got to kill her. She knows way too much. So he bursts through the glass to fuck shit up, but luckily Craig is there to save the day. I did not want to root for Craig. If you can't tell, he's not exactly my favorite character, but hey, you know, he's at least trying to help our girl Jennifer out. So I guess, whatever. It's a far cry from the beginning of the movie, right? Craig starts hacking Bill to death with a meat cleaver inside of the phone booth, which was pretty brutal. I'm probably not going to show it here because I don't think I'm going to be able to, but you can imagine, you know, it's a very brutal death. There's no stab wounds at all as Bill is being hacked to death, though. It did not look even remotely realistic, which was kind of a bummer, but I get it. Low budge. It's fine. What are you gonna do? Luckily for them, you know, the cops show up. Thank God, right? Like, they've been waiting to get help this whole time. So the cops show up and immediately assume, since, you know, Bill is the one who is dying and bleeding out, and Craig and Jennifer are just kind of standing there holding the murder weapon, that they're the ones who did all of these kooky little murders that Bill devised. And that's kind of part of Bill's plan. It seems like that was his plan all along, was to frame Craig for the murders, which I get it. He's an easy fall guy, you know. Who would ever believe Craig for anything? Bill is still kind of clinging to life as the officers show up on the scene, and he's like, they did it, they killed everybody in the store. Also, I thought this was really fun. One of the cops in this scene is Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead and from Maniac Cop. He's supposed to be, it's like a cameo crossover kind of thing in this movie, apparently, where he was supposed to be his character from Maniac Cop, which I also watched. That was not good, in my opinion. This movie made me watch Maniac Cop, because I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize he's the same character. That's cool. Yeah, I watched Maniac Cop, and I'm not going to review that one, and I wouldn't recommend that you see it, but I would recommend this one, and I would recommend watching Evil Dead, of course, if you know, live under a rock and you haven't seen that yet. And yeah, Bruce Campbell was there, and he looked great, per usual. So I was excited to see him, even if he was kind of manhandling Jennifer and Craig. Yeah, the cops really kind of took it out on them. They definitely immediately were like, the cops definitely believe Bill. Let's put it that way. Book 'em, Dano. And Bill starts laughing and his eyes open just as the film ends. And Jennifer screams. And they're being taken away by the police. So I guess Bill got his revenge on Danny? Question mark? I don't know how any of this was, this just didn't seem necessary, Bill. It seemed a little dramatic, frankly. Like, if you have issues with Danny, go, you know, settle it in the parking lot or whatever. You were like fighting with Craig, go do that with Danny, you know what I mean? You can get a few good punches in with very realistic sound effects, but you don't have to kill everybody, Bill. That just seemed really, really harsh, man. Like, zoinks. So that is Intruder. That's how it ends. It ends with, I guess, I mean, it's kind of a cliffhanger ending. They don't really give you a concrete ending, and usually I hate that, but I did not mind that in this scenario. I thought it was fun, kind of being like, oh, I guess, you know, maybe Bill is gonna live and get away with murder, and Jennifer and Craig are gonna be a jailbird couple. Craig's definitely got to be going back to jail, you know what I mean? He was already in prison for, like, murdering a guy, so I'm sure wouldn't be a far stretch to believe that he done did it again. So that, my friends, is the movie Intruder. Now, I gotta say, you know what? Now that I've got this look on, I'm really liking it. I know it's simple. It's, you know, not exactly the usual drama that I bring, but this is closer to what I would do on a day-to-day basis, to be honest with you. Like, this is more so kind of my vibe on a daily. Anyway, that was Intruder. What did you think? I actually love this one. I feel like this is a rare gem of a horror movie where, yes, it's, you know, an 80s slasher, but it actually surprised me quite a bit. Number one, it surprised me, right? Number two, it had a unique setting. Never seen a horror movie in a grocery store before, actually. And yes, I say grocery instead of grocery. I'm from the Midwest, okay? Number three, it had no nudity or sex whatsoever. Just a, honestly, like PG-13 makeout scene, if that. And then four, it actually had the funniest character turn out to be the murderer, which was our guy Bill. I was kind of bummed by that, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, it made sense. I liked it because, you know, it added a lot to the story. It was unique. So I had to move over a little bit. I wasn't super bummed about Bill being the killer, but a little bit. I don't know. It made sense for sure. Watching the movie, it was kind of a fun reveal. I was surprised and I loved the dialogue. It was fun. It was campy. There were lots of dad jokes, which obviously I was a huge fan of. I thought the actor who played Bill did a killer job.
Please clap.
Actually, though, yes, this guy did such a good job. He really mastered the art of being creepy and unhinged one minute and then being super funny and kooky the next. He did such a great job. I really loved his character. I think that was the best part of the movie, honestly. That and the kills. The special effects far surpassed what I was expecting for this movie. Seeing the budget, I really thought like, oh, okay, it's just going to be a couple teenagers having sex. You know, they get murdered off screen with the sound of a knife slashing and, you know, whatever. The killer is obvious. And I just didn't expect much. I did see online that it had positive reviews before I watched it. I didn't see any spoilers. And I do want to mention that the number one like gripe that people have with this movie, when it came out, I think it would have been on VHS, and on the tape it showed who the killer was. The killer was revealed. It's literally Bill holding like a butcher's knife. You can see it. I watched it on Tubi and you can see it on like the title card or whatever. I don't know what it's called. You can just see it on the cover on Tubi. I didn't even look at it, to be honest with you. I just saw the name Intruder and then I Googled it. Gave her a little Google, the Google machine. I use the Google on the internet machine. I gave it a Google and I saw that it had good reviews. I saw different Reddit threads of people saying they really liked it. I didn't read any spoilers and I obviously was an idiot and didn't look at the cover, so I didn't realize that Bill was the killer the whole time, but I'm glad I didn't because I went in blind and I was pleasantly surprised. So hopefully you've seen this movie before you watch this review or I just ruined it for you. I actually found Jennifer to be a solid choice for a final girl as well. She was resourceful, she was smart, she wasn't whiny like some other final girls that we've seen. And she did the damn thing. She did kind of get blamed for everything, so sucks to be her, but I don't know. I liked Jennifer overall. Her character did not bore or annoy me. She wasn't like an innocent, virginal kind of type either. Like she was just kind of just your average, everyday kind of gal. And I related with that. I liked her as a final girl. I thought the end with her and Craig getting framed for the whole thing was kind of fun and different. I don't know. Something unique. And then I loved that we had a cameo from Bruce Campbell. Who could be mad at that? He looked great. He did a great job for like the 4 lines or whatever he had in this movie. I enjoyed seeing him. I will say too, like the kills were so interesting and creative for the time. I've kind of already talked about it, but if there's anything I'm going to take away from this movie, it was that bandsaw death, dude. That was sick. I was very impressed by it. I was impressed by the special effects. The head crushing was really good. This is definitely a more gory one. I didn't think it was like so gory that it looked extremely believable. I mean, I have seen Hatchet and I might be reviewing that one next because holy shit. But it was still good. Very solid kills, very solid plot. I really enjoyed this one, I'm not gonna lie to you. I also really like the cinematography. I feel like I don't talk about that as much in my movie reviews, but there were lots of cool angles in this one that I couldn't ignore. Like the one from the receipt stabby thing, the receipt holder, the angle from that, the shot through the green bottle where you see Danny getting pushed into the receipt holder. There were lots of cool shots. There were shots from inside of a shopping cart, like there's fun little cutaways as well with like puns kind of attached to them. I really enjoyed it. I thought this was a really innovative slasher movie. Truly deserves more recognition and more praise. Give Intruder its flowers. This is such a good movie. Like, Yes, it's a slasher movie. It's not extremely atypical in that sense, but this is a really solid entry into the slasher genre. I was super impressed with it. I thought I knew what I was signing up for. I so did not. It was much more unique than what I typically get with a slasher movie. So I would definitely recommend this one. Add it to your watch list. It's a quick watch. I think it's on Tubi, so it's free. There's ads and there's no subtitles, which like, don't even get me started, but it's worth it. Grab yourself a bowl of popcorn, turn on Intruder. Honestly, you know what? It's getting 4.5 pumpkins from me. 4.5 pumpkins at time of posting. This is the most pumpkins I have given out so far. So I don't know. What should we do? Have a party? Let's invite Bill, maybe. I don't know. He'll definitely have a lot of dad jokes for us. So that is it for me today. What did you think of this movie and of this movie review? Did you think I rated it too high? Is it just another slasher to you? Have you seen it? Have you heard of it? Do you think the $130,000 budget was utilized properly? Because I sure do. I don't really know what more they could have done on such a small budget. I'm honestly, color me impressed. All right. Thank you for dealing with this terrible Southern accent I've been doing and the multiple George W. Bush impressions, and for listening to me talk about a movie you may or may not have heard of. Let me know down below what you would like to see next. Give me a like, a comment, a subscribe, all the things, and until next time, I'm Pale Kale. Thank you for watching.